Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. I'm Natasha Venter, medium. I am one who is intuitive, well, psychic intuitive. And I'm here to help you. And I'm here on Wednesday doing life clarifications with Natasha. So I do a lot of work in this show to help people moving forward and living life. And sorry, I'm having problems with my cameras today. But Mercury just went out of retrograde, so it's kind of one of those things that now it's starting to balance it out and doing some of the work. Shoot, I didn't have my mic in. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna start for real. Okay, and you'll have to excuse me today. I'm a little bit headachy, so my brain is not all wiring on all fires all the way, but yet my intuitive stuff comes in and it usually clears up my headaches when I do intuitive work. So I want to say hi, welcome. I'm Natasha Venter, intuitive personal awareness coach. So my personal awareness coaching is something that I love to help people. And I don't mean to say that I love people going through struggles, but I my calling in life is to help you go through what you're going through. Well, last week I had somebody who gave me an idea for a show, and I was so grateful for that because it kind of trickled me into this other work that I'm doing. And uh, I am one of those things that as we go through life and managing life, hello on Instagram. So today I'm live again on Instagram, YouTube, my Facebook, and Twitter. And soon I'll be loading this up onto to LinkedIn. So with that everybody here, I'm grateful to be able to support people through life, going through what life is triggering them. Well, I know a lot of us right now are wondering what the future is going to be like. Well, I can't predict that for everybody, but then I can do in my intuitive psychic medium work, but I can predict a little bit about why we are on the path we're going on. And that's what I wanted to talk to everyone about today was, I had somebody who mentioned what would happen if the veil thinned. Now, everybody kind of doesn't know what the veil means. Okay. So it's speaking intuitively here, the veil. So let's say the veil is something that goes between us and fairies or the fae, uh, the elementals, us and let's say Sasquatch, Bigfoot, or a lot of those weird looking animals that we see that we don't always see, right? The veil is also something that, actually the star beings would be interacting with us more if the veil wasn't so covered up. And it's getting thinner. It's really getting thinner. And then, we're talking about how we have family members that are on just on the other side of the veil. Sometimes they're shadows. There's these, interactions. So when we're talking about the veil thinning, the veil would be thinning, would be seeing what these beings look like we would see them more like our friends sit next to us in a way. Not necessarily our loved ones, but maybe the fae. Or, have you ever read the Chronicles of Narnia? And they go into this other world. And the Chronicles of Narnia, like there's these horses that actually speak to you, and the animals speak to you. And then they wonder why the horses don't speak, who are the people are riding, right? Because in Chronicles of Narnia, the animals that speak with you, you don't ride them. They're their own beings, right? But yet you can give permission. Can I ride with you, on you? And they say sure or no, because that's my body. I'm not going to have you, a horse ride on my back here. There's some that don't have that voice, right? Well, that's the difference in the veil thinning. Okay. But we have to get ready for that, don't we? We really have to get ready for that. And that's what I wanted to talk about because many of us are going through problems with our bodies. Well, and many of us are going through problems with other people even, or we're going through problems with, is this real or is it's not real, right? Well, when we're talking about the veil thinning and us going to, I'm going to say it, another dimension, or let's say, the Matrix, or, doing, Doctor Strange work, you know that movie Doctor Strange. Well, that's part of that veil thinning, is getting to know that our energy is responsible for what we walk into, what room we're walking into. Our energy conducts other energy, right? So that's where, like, if we live in a haunted house or a house that has a lot of energies, you know um beings in it, a lot of times we start feeling sicker and achier, right? Well, I can't claim that for my body. My body is actually knowing that I am very intuitive, knowing where this is going, that my body rings at a higher vibration than the 3D body sometimes wants to run. And so that's where I struggle with some of my food body issues. Now, I'm going to disclaim that a little bit too, because of the fact that as I walked into this world, now I remember being born. I remember writing the contract, and this is not a meditation. This is something that I've interacted with. That as I've gone through life and known life, that the wisdom that I have gotten from knowing things, that I chose not to eat certain foods because I was poisoned so many times in past lives. Now, past lives is a personal belief. You either believe that you live in a past life or you don't. I know I have. I believe in it. So if I speak about something, remember, your truth is your truth. This is just an observation that I have. And this is my perspective, my perception of what life is. So I'm just maybe putting an idea in your back pocket, just to shift something somewhere, right? So with that our bodies and our minds and our energy is going through an upgrade. And not all our bodies want to go through that. Now, going back to my body, I came into this world, in past lives being poisoned, hung, killed. And, I didn't want things going down my throat that didn't fit right in this lifetime. So that took out a lot of my food that I ate. Well, now my body has gotten into that story, and I'm working on rewriting that story with my DNA, right? So with that, a lot of foods cause me headaches. So today I'm a little headachy. I've kind of gone through it. Well, also too, I'm going to say that it's starting snowing out here, and I spent almost 2 hours outside doing recess duty in my morning job. So my body kind of went through a little bit more stress than it wanted to, with not feeling quite right. So if I'm a little flubbled with my reading today and my 3D situations, I apologize. But my intuitive stuff, it works fine on these days, actually, and it helps me get out of my headache mode. Okay, so with that our bodies are going through things. Okay, so but remember that many of us, as we're going through our scenarios, it's helping us to get connected more with our bodies. Because I'm going to tell you, those of us that are intuitive, the more we're connected with our bodies, the more we can be in our bodies and be more intuitive. Isn't that a trick? If you want to be intuitive, don't you want to get closer to the beings that you're intuitive with? Well, no, because of the fact that if we go to them, we are losing our connection with us. And it's wise for us to be in connection with our bodies. So the more we get in tune with our bodies, right? With our bodies, the more that we can engage with the world around us. So many of us are going through scenarios in our bodies so that we can become higher vibration for ourselves. Now, I'm going to tell you though, that if we get more intuitive, if we get into a higher vibration, we can't eat a lot of the foods that are out there, right? Well, for me, like potatoes, I'm just going to call potatoes because that's my new thing right now. That I can't eat potatoes right now because it gives me a migraine. Well, I'm always headachy. That's just my body's go-to, is when it's uncomfortable, it gets headachy. Okay. So for me, I'm always running kind of like at a 3 with a headache. But when I ate potatoes, it went up to an 8. It was where my stomach, I was lucky not to be in the bathroom type of headaches, migraines. So with that, I really checked in. Potatoes, why am I getting migraines? Oh, you know why? Because a lot of potatoes, they sit in the ground, and the ground has been saturated with pesticides, right? And they've been saturated with a lot of things that have over the years gone into the ground. Our rainwater that's tainted, a lot of those things, right? Well, this body doesn't deal with things that aren't of good vibration. So that makes sense why potatoes aren't settling good. It's because it's not necessarily the potato, it's what's on the potato. Well, it's also in the nightshade family, and I can also say that potato or tomatoes give me a rash, and peppers don't sit quite right. So a lot of the other nightshades aren't settling right either. So I can get that too. But going from a 3 headache to an 8 within 20 minutes, there's something about that that's not hitting right in my body. And that's the one thing that I want to go to is that when our body starts saying, please don't, the best thing we can do is listen to them. It doesn't mean that, like for me, I'm not going totally 100% organic because I want to be able to eat when I go to a restaurant, right? So I do kind of stay kind of on the edge. I won't necessarily go to some place like Burger King, but I'll go to a local place that has grass-fed beef, right? But it's more of a fast food place. So I'm staying within that realm. So it is about keeping our bodies going in daily life, but honoring it. Well, I don't want to eat that right now. So for me, I'm going to take like a 2-month, 3-month vacation, I'm going to call it, from potatoes. Now, then when I go back into it, I'm going to get organic, and I'm going to try those first. Going with what the body is doing now, that's part of going towards our future. What is our future going to be like? We're not going to be able to be the same old cliche. I can't see what I don't want to do. No, no, no. This, that, this, that, this. That vibration will not come into what we're going into. And that's why things are irritating us so much right now, right? That's what's irritating us so much right now is that process of getting the idea that it's not all about us, the I. It's about the we with us involved. My individuality matters so that we can do better. And if we can have that perspective that I matter in the midst of the we doing better, it's a fine line because people, when we start thinking about the we start figuring out that we lose us. Oh, no, 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 no. It gives us a chance to shine more clearer because we are our individuality. So when we are being triggered by someone, please go into that breath. Why is this triggering me? Why is this triggering me? Well, this is triggering me because of the fact that I don't like that perspective. I don't like that perspective or that perception. Well, going through that process, know that no matter where we're at, where we're going, things are going to trigger us to wake us up, to have us think about something. Now, I'm going to make a little segue here that later in the show, usually about the 30 after, the 40 after, I'm going to be doing some card readings for people. Okay, oracle card reading. So if you would like it, start thinking about what you would like, because I have angel cards. I have actually this new deck. It's called the Path of the Soul. I've had it in my cupboard and I finally took it out, and these are beautiful. These are just beautiful. I wanted to come out and start speaking. So with that as I'm going to wake them up. They've been in the cupboard, so I'm going to wake them up while I'm talking. That if you would like to get a card reading later, please stick around and put in there. If you're on Instagram, mention what you would like. Oh, the path of the soul. Yes, I'll do that, Veronica, for you. Thank you for chiming in. But that won't be right now. We're going to still talk about a little bit, but thank you. I will do that for you. Thank you, Veronica. That as we're going through life and managing our life, that we want to get to that euphoria, our future that is euphoria. Well, no, have you ever watched those movies where life is so totally perfect and somebody is running the show and there's really no choices? That's not going to be part of our character because we're human, right? So what I'm going to offer to you is that as we get triggered, as we're waking up, as we're thinking about life, remember, how can I be my better self? At the same time, being our better self helps the person or people around us be our better selves, which helps those around them try to be better selves, which means what? Get into that part of where the people, the energies on the other side of our veil to trust us more. And that's why that veil, that cliche word, the veil, the reason why we don't see Sasquatch, the reason why we don't see our fae, the reason why we don't see our loved ones, the reason why we don't see a lot of things is because of the mistrust that they had for us humans. Why do you think they didn't trust us? Why do you think they didn't trust us? Well, the fae and the energies. Well, I can tell you in my past life, the reason why I wasn't hello on Instagram, that as we go through life and managing our life, that the reason why the Fae didn't trust us is because we did not understand them. And usually when we don't understand something, we get angry with it. We judge it. We damage it. We are part of the process of being damaging to those things we don't understand. And thank you on Instagram for asking how I am. I am doing really well. I am an intuitive medium, personal awareness coach, and we're having a conversation about how the veil and where our life is going right now. And as my perspective and as the energy goes forth, I want you to know that no one can be perfect in the world we're in. No one can be perfect. Yet at the same time, though, as we're not perfect, we can still be kinder to the people around us. Like I tell the kids, I work in an elementary school as my morning job, and then I come and do sessions and help people go through life. Like I've been helping people through grief a lot lately because a lot of people are passing right now, and it's really sad. That as we're going through life and as we're managing life and doing what we're doing, right? That like I tell people, we don't have to be friends, but we can be friendly. If we have a misunderstanding, can't we just say, I agree to disagree? But right now, our emotions are so on edge. If they're so on edge, they get tipped over so quickly, right? Well, as we're going through life, that's where if we want to start seeing our fae, if we want to start seeing our loved ones that have passed, if we want to start seeing the star beings, if we want to start seeing the angels that stand by next to us, and if we want to start seeing all them as a collective group of humans, we're going to have to be kinder to the ones around us. It doesn't mean that we have to put up with things that aren't right. I'm not saying that. That's called tough love. Tough love means, you know what? Not in my house anymore. Right? And I'm going to tell you that having that tough love gave my husband, now I'm married 30 years, a chance to get sobriety. after 20, well, he had been drinking since he was 14, and he got sober when he was 49, right? So with that as he became sober, it took my kindness to help him grow to be who he is. Now, did that mean that I was willing to be his garbage can with his emotions? No. But it meant saying, please, not now. I know you're upset. No, I don't want to talk about that right now. Can we when we have a calmer voice? Because as we're going through life and managing our life and being who we are, going through what we're going through, that's it. Now, I can tell you that if we're really emotional, our body is going to complain. Our body is going to complain. And that means that if we are under a lot of stress, that's where fibromyalgia is coming in. That's why people are having digestive issues. That's why people are having heart issues. And I know a lot of the gentlemen that are around that they've struggled with having an open heart because they don't know if they can trust the love of another or trust their openness with somebody else because they've learned to be closed off, right? No, I can't trust you, so I'm not going to have my heart open and broken. So as a person who gets damaged a lot with their heart, a lot of times they come up with heart problems, right? Well, that's the heart chakra. Heart chakra is about love. Now, like I said, love doesn't always have to be uchi coochie. It doesn't always have to be loving kind. It could be no. No. But what is the intention when we're saying no? Is it to get back at someone? Or is it to say, please, not now? What is our intention? And checking in with our intention can help our digestive system. Why is so many people overweight? Well, because a lot of us, in our weight, we carry emotions, our grief, our hurts and pains from childhood. A lot of us are struggling with a lot of that. Who am I? Can I digest my life right now? Can I survive my life? Can I live with what I'm doing? If we're making wrong choices, let's say if we're being harmful to people around us, not always going the right path, you know, then that could eat away at some part of our bodies and our soul. And yes, everybody's on a path this lifetime to learn something, right? And many of us are choosing paths that aren't always clean and clear because they can be damaging to other people, right? Well, I'm going to ask you that if you're in that dance, I'm sending love to you, not necessarily, relationship love, but it's that love of the human so that we can make the choice that any moment in our life we can change to do something different, right? We can change to do something different. Practice makes better. Practice makes better. Like I've told some of the kids, I work in a kindergarten class. Well, if you think about these kindergartners, right? They've had COVID most of their life. They never had preschool because they couldn't be in preschool because of the way COVID was, right? So they're struggling being in kindergarten. They don't know what kindness is. They don't know what being kind is. I say, are you being kind right now? Ooh. I said, well, did you say hi to that person? Yeah. Well, that's being kind. Did you hit that kid? Yeah. Is that being kind? I don't know. I'm going to say no. That's not being kind. So with that as we're doing kindness, our body runs in a vibration that is a little bit higher. And our soul walks farther. And our knowings help. So if you're walking through where your body isn't doing well, and thank you for having my session here today because my head is feeling much better. That if your body is not handling life well, then we go through life a little bit more hurtful. Okay, so Veronica, thank you very much for chiming in here. So Veronica, on, because I'm also on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I believe that people need to go back to treating people the way you want to be treated. I believe that. I believe so. Veronica on comment said, "I believe that people need to go back to treating people the way that you want to be treated." Okay, I'm going to add one more thought to that, Veronica. That many of us are brought up in families that don't know how to treat other people better than we want to be treated, because many of us have been practiced into having a life of drama and trauma. Nothing wrong. I'm not saying that that's bad. It's not like a soap opera, even though many of our families are like soap operas. But I'm saying that many of us don't know how to be treated with kindness. We don't know that when someone, let's say when somebody calls us stupid, they hear that every day and they think that's normal language. But for me, if somebody called me stupid, I'd be looking at them going, excuse me? No, no. I may not know everything, but yet I know something. And I may know something you don't know, which means that there's something you don't know, which means that you just don't know it. And I don't know it. But does that mean I'm stupid? No, no. Now there is an act that people keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again, and they don't learn from their own lessons. And that's kind of like, are you thinking? Are you looking? Are you trying? Are you trying to do better? Well, that's not being stupid, though. That's just not applying what you're learning, right? And that has an act of not thinking. I'm not going to call it stupid, though, right? And that's a trigger word for me. Being dyslexic, I've been told I was stupid many times in my lifetime. And I'm not. Because I can tell you that I don't read a lot of books. So a lot of my intuitive stuff that I'm getting is listening to my guides and beings. It's not by reading books, right? So I'm not getting my knowings by reading a whole bunch of books. I'm getting my knowings by listening to my team, my energetic, my spiritual team, so that I can be my better self. Now, I get clarity by reading certain books. There's certain books I have a hard time reading because they don't grab my interest. They don't grab my I have to be inspired to read it in order to read it, because otherwise reading is a little difficult. There again, just have a thing, just like everybody has a thing, right? Some people have a hard time doing math. Some people have a hard time reading. Some people have a hard time doing uh, uh, doing, let's say some people have a hard time walking on a balance beam, right? And some people can do that. Some people can do technology real easily, and some people can't. We all have a plus, we all have a minus. But I'm going to tell you that as that veil shifts and changes, that's one thing that we get honored for, is what we know, what we are, where we're going with it, what's happening with us, right? So I'm going to take a little segue here because I'm getting up to that time that if you are on Instagram or anybody's watching, Veronica already wants to do the Path of Soul. I got a new deck of cards. Well, it's a new deck that's been in the cupboard that wanted to come out. So the Path of Soul, and it's beautiful cards. And I'll read about those. I also have my fairy deck here, and it's Doreen Virtue's the fairy deck. Okay. I have my oracle card. I love these. I use these all the time. They are to give messages. And then I have my Doreen Virtue angel cards, and I also have animal cards. And then I have the path or the map. deck that we can do that. And I'll be doing this in about 10 minutes. Or I have my fairies. And I will read on that. So as we're going through life, there's those being. Okay, so Sue on Facebook here says, I got so she, in her comments, she said, I get a sense that when I'm shifting a lot of energy in my body, tends to hold on to the weight more. Yes, yes. So I'll reread that again. So on Facebook, uh, Sue Snyder says, I get a sense that when my body's shifting a lot of energy, my body tends to hold on to weight more. Well, because of the fact that it's hard to digest a lot of things when we're shifting our weight, our energy. So what she's talking about is that a lot of times when we're going through an energy upgrade, when we're, let's say, releasing a lot of things after a massage, we'll release some things, or emotions or memories, or we're getting downloads energetically, which is basically like when the sun flares hit. Sometimes we get a lot of energy shifts and stuff like that. And I know that's part of my headache today is that Mercury's going out of retrograde. Venus just went out of retrograde. It's the Chinese New Year. There's a lot of energy going around outside of us because COVID is pretty strong in people's fear. A lot of grief is happening. And so I'm very empathetic with people. And so with that I get a sense of that. So I'm inflammational a little bit. And I know that right now the planets that are interactive right now are triggering some of that inflammation, and taking care of ourselves during that time. Like for me, an hour before the show, I laid my head down and just took some quiet meditative moment so that I can gather myself, right? So as we're going through life and managing our life, that know that as we're going further, part of this journey is that taking care of us as an I call that a healthy I. I need to take a break. I texted my husband and said, honey, I'm sorry, my head's a little achy today. So I don't know what's for dinner yet. And he says, I'll take care of myself, which is thank you, because he's given me the chance to take care of what I need to take care of, which helps us to be a better we, right? Because if I'm trying to cook dinner when I'm headachy, and my head, I cover up my pain quite well because I'm used to having it. So if somebody had the headache that I have today, they'd probably say it's around 6 or 7, because my stomach was really involved earlier today. And my whole side of the face is kind of tingling and numb, but I'm used to it, right? And when you get used to pain or that discomfort, it kind of goes down. You just kind of get into the no man's land of it, right? So with that I'm doing fine. Obviously, I can do sessions doing this. So as we're going through life and managing our life, know that as we're getting closer to the veil thinning, we see the fae, we see the Sasquatch, we see a lot of the animals, that it takes them to have trust in us, right? So that we don't go, oh no, what is that? Bang, bang, shoot, shoot, right? How is that going to show that we can be trusted if we want to kill everything that we don't understand? Instead of saying, what is that? What is that? And as we're working through our life and walking through our life, the more we can say, what are you? Who are you? How can I get to know you? The more we'll have understanding about our future. And there again is being friendly to someone we're not friends with. That is having kindness to something that we don't understand instead of being judgmental. So with that, I am ready, if you are ready, to have some card readings done. So, Veronica, you wanted to have the Path of the Soul. So, on Instagram, if you would like to have a card reading, please put it in the comments because I would like to do a card reading with you. And when I'm intuitive, I do not tap in with you until you give me permission. And I will only read, I'll only give you what I feel like is deemed that I can give out on society. If you want to have a private session with me to get a clearer vision or a clearer message, I would be happy to do that with you. Okay, so the Path of the Soul for Veronica. Oh, and Sue wants to do the Path of the Soul too. Okay, so I'm going to wake the cards up. Okay, so what I'm going to ask Veronica, if you can, because Veronica's on Facebook right now with me, and I'm also on YouTube, so you can chime in there. I get messages there. I haven't gotten anybody watching on Twitter, so I don't know if I get messages there. So let's see. If I haven't seen anything when I get back on Twitter. So what I'm going to ask you to do, Veronica, is to put your intention of your questions and the cards, the energy, your guides will connect with my guides and connect with the guides of this. So I'm asking the guides of this Path of the Soul. Yes, they're connecting. And actually, they're more the star beings that are connecting with this deck. Okay. Thank you, Veronica, for putting that intention out there. Okay. Okay, who wants to? Oh, okay. So we're going to do this guy here. Oh, Veronica. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that pretty? And it's upside down. But I don't know if my deck was upside. Yeah, my deck was upside down. So, isn't that beautiful? This is the newer deck that I have. And it is from the Destiny cards. Who did this? By Cheryl Harris. I'll do it that way, just so I make a disclosure because they're not mine. Okay, so this is number 4. Sorry, my eyes are tricking me today. So this is number 14. No? Just a second, guys. Oh, number 8. Sorry about that. Some cards, they don't have things totally. Yes, number 8. If you can see here, the 8 isn't necessarily upright. So, okay. So number 8. Tourism manifestation. And I'll do this. Okay, so you can see what I'm trying to say here. If I have problems with a word. Okay. Okay, so this card works to create a positive outcome in all situations. Trizai works to free you from your problems, burdens, and suffering by showing you all the many wonderful blessings in life. This card is the ultimate manifestation. On every level of every way, it is complete form of fulfillment. This is a turning point in life. Free-flowing manifestation of all the good this world has to offer is coming to you. Stay focused on the blessings and you will see them multiply. Boy, after our conversation yesterday, isn't that the explanation point at the end of that statement? So you're on the right path of what you're working through. Know that you are feeling very blessed. Okay. And what we talked about yesterday, you're on the right track for what you're thinking. I know sometimes when we're going through physical ailments, we tend to go into the negative concept. But if we keep that more positive we can, and we keep that process of moving forward and things healing, light is healing, that even if we have a moment of, why is this happening to me? It's okay to go, okay, this is happening to me. Now I can do better. Now I can do better. So this card here is about great manifestation. You're on the right path. And remember, the number 8 is an infinity sign. So as above, as below. And what I'm also getting is that if you look at this, how many, you can see a happy face in the middle of that with a smile, right? Almost looks like a dog's face. Blessings are coming to you, my dear. Blessings. You may have to walk through a little bit of itching grit to get there, but believe that it'll come through. But like we talked about yesterday, you got to start doing those things that create more health. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay. So Sue, you wanted to do the Path of the Soul, please. Okay. And on Instagram, if you would like a card deck, I have the Path of the Soul. And then I have my fairy deck. And then I have the oracle cards here. And I also have the animal. And let's see. And it's the map series. So what I would do is they have different cards for different scenarios. Okay. And so speaking English on Instagram, I would be grateful if you would like to have a card. Okay. So I'm going to clear the deck. Okay. So Sue, if you can put your intention of it doesn't have to be a question to be answered. It could be just an intention of what can you tell me for my future or something like that. Okay, so Sue, if you can put your thoughts into these cards a few seconds here. Okay, remember they're the star beings, and I feel ya. Thank you, Sue. Turn my deck upside down. Okay, so Sue. Card reading for Sue. And thank you, Veronica, for clarifying, saying yes. That was a perfect card for you. For Sue. Okay, I'm getting pulled. My eyes are getting pulled to which one? This one. Ooh. That one's a pretty one. That's a number 2. Look at that one, Sue. Isn't that pretty? It's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so number 2. Inside of a lot of vibration there. So this card is encoded. So encoded. Yep, encoded. Number 2. Oops. Yep, number 2, encoded. Yeah, Sue says, very cool. Looks like an energy portal. Yeah, well, like I said, this is connected to the star beings, and so that yes, very much so. So encoded. Okay. Wherever others see nothing, you see the deeper meaning or message behind within. Your guides are working on communicating with you as your intuition and inner knowings expand. Be mindful of all that you are expanding to in each moment. Be aware of the animal messengers. You get a lot of them. Cloud formations, colors, conversations of others, and anything else that catches your attention. You are taking the next step up in awareness and connection of the unseen world. And I can tell you that Sue Snyder on Facebook, she gets eagles, she gets deer, she gets a lot of heron, a lot of mother. Heron is about Mother Earth helping, and she also gets a lot of other animals coming forth. And so that was your card. Yes, Sue, you are definitely waking up. And so with that you've been getting a lot of messages. I know you reach out to that. Please make sure that the 3D world that you live in does not hinder your upper growings of your spiritual growth. Okay. Isn't that beautiful? That is just beautiful. Give a moment to do that. Is there anybody else who would like a card reading? Because I think if not, I will do, thanks. So yes, she says, thanks. Animals, colors, clouds, people around me are bringing messages. Cool. Yes, that's exactly it. And, it is about, a lot of people forget that animals are one of the biggest communicators that our guides and angels and our life around us, the fae around us, send for biggest messages. And the more that we could, let's say if we have a crow right in front of us, Google, what is the intuitive crow meaning, or what is the Native American crow meaning? Look at different perspectives and see what that animal wants to tell you. Like the other day, I was driving down the road and I had a squirrel run in front of me. Well, squirrel, the very quirk version that I get is that it's about learning to work and play. Because a lot of times they're gathering nuts for the winter, right? But they're bouncing along and they're playing as they go across the trees, right? And so with that, or they stop and have a dog chase them around the tree for a little bit to have fun, right? So I asked myself, when do I play? What is my play? How do I play? Ooh, that really, how do I play? Playing my game, solitaire and stuff is more like a mindset for me to uh, it's more like it settles my mind when it's so busy thinking about different things. And so I kind of do that, but I wouldn't call that play anymore. So when do I play? My dog wants to play. Do I play with that? Not really. Okay. So I have to think about that. How can I bring play more into my life? Well, this is kind of play for me too, but it's not necessarily the same kind of play as, let's say, going skiing or taking a walk of a beach, and doing sandcastles or something like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, since I have a couple more minutes in the show, that if nobody else wants a card reading, I will pull a card for the collective. What does the star beings or the beings that are connected with this deck want to tell the collective? Because I can tell you that the two cards that I did pull for the two people, that that would be good for anybody. But let's see what the collective wants to. Ooh, just got dizzy for a minute, so they're downloading something. And a lot of people get dizzy when we get downloads. I'm just going to tell you that. Vertigo can get hit if you're getting a lot of downloads. Ringing in the ear is another way of people or the energies around you trying to give you messages. And the first thing you hear is usually a good message for you. What is it that you would like to tell us? Okay, so I just got pulled to this card right here. Ooh, isn't that beautiful? Sorry about that. Trying not to get the glare here. There we go. It's just beautiful. So beautiful. So that almost looks like like some of the things that you see in deep space, isn't it? Deep space. Deep space. Okay, so number 17. This is for the collective. Treasures. What was once hidden from view can now be seen. Laying within you are many inner treasures and gifts. This is your time of discovery. You have special and unique skills that you have hidden, like pearls in a shell. It is happening now. Stay grounded and clear. A spiral in the card shows of the universe's energies are working with you to help you uncover what lies within. Understand, however, that once fully uncovered, you will be asked to use these gifts in service to others and the planet. So, I'm going to say that many of us have skills that if we're kind of doing them on the wrong intention or the negative intention, if we turn them around, we can make great good, right? So, skills. And I can tell you, many of us who have sat in our houses during COVID while we were quarantined and everything was closed down, right? We kind of got some thinking going on and we kind of said, what can I do? What can I do? And many of us who are in for the greater good of this world really navigated through this path of, what can I do? Oh, this has been running around my back of my head. Maybe I can, like some people who are intuitive did a card deck. There's many things that are going on in our lives right now. So with that, there's many things being uncovered. We don't always see the future yet. We may not know what's going to happen yet. But the thing is, though, it's the spiral. We'll find the path when we get there. We'll find the reason why when we get there. So thank you. Thank you, guides who are attached to this. Now, guess who wants to come out and play? The Fae. The Fae. The Fae. They do. Okay, so with that, they've been calling to me saying, we want to do a card for the collective. So I'm going to, another shift of energy. Woo, a little dizzy there. Isn't that the Fae? Isn't that the Fae? Oh, I love them. I love them. Yes, I love them, even though they took my glasses like 3 times last year. Fairies, they like to make sure we're grounded by tripping us. So this is this card here. Okay, so number 30. Number 30. So this is Brian Froud. He's very connected with the Fae. Number 30. Number 30. La Moon. Unconditional giving, unconditional receiving. Isn't that a message? Unconditional giving is unconditional receiving. She is the Moon in the same way that the Margar are chiefs of the clan. Okay. The loom is a charitable soul in the old sense of the word charity, which is loving and giving. She knows the joy of giving without expectations of receiving. From practicing this ourselves, we learn that there is always a return, often from the least expected source. The universe likes to keep its accounts up to date, and the loom's job is to encourage us to keep the credit side of our cosmic accounts balanced by freely giving. Isn't that true? Like if we clean out our closets, we end up receiving something, right? We have been given the earth, the sun, the stars, the moon. We've been given the trees, the flowers, and things to eat, and a multitude of prospective friends. It's going to take a considerable amount of generosity to come into balance with all those gifts we have already received. Isn't that amazing that we take for granted that the sun comes up every day? Or the world turns so the sun can come up. or that we have water to drink. I know there's a lot of countries that don't have water to drink. And oh, okay. So being grateful is a good way. I wake up every morning saying to my body, thank you for waking up. And I pat it. Thank you. Thank you, shoulders, for carrying my head so that I can think today. Right? Okay. So whenever we fall out of balance in what we give and what we receive, we can have constipation or diarrhea of the spirit. Spiritual constipation makes us toxic and bloated and unable to deal with more intake. Spiritual diarrhea makes us energetically depleted, limp, needy. The spiritual forms of these particular manifestations are entirely a result of choices of balance of our giving and receiving. You may think that you have the right, but things are not going well for you, and the loom suggests you think again. If you are pushing and pushing at something, it can often help greatly just to back off, relax about it, let the energy flow. If at the same time that you back up from your efforts, that you put energetically into the universe elsewhere, the energy just naturally has a flow back to you in the most appropriate and generous form. The universe also has to keep its accounts balanced. Studying the loom picture, a discussion group member wrote, the loom is bugging me. She looks passive but watchful. I think she feels that this giving business needs a bit more explanation. It is about being ready to do that sometimes quite small thing just when you need it. A pinch of fairy dust in just the right place at the right time works wonders. But big clouds of fairy dust just makes everyone sneeze. This is true. Sometimes a small bit of helpfulness now prevents a big need later. And sometimes a big thing is needed right from the beginning. Another oracle reader noted that the loom wings look a bit tattered and wondered if that indicated that sometimes the appropriate giving until it hurts. Oh, isn't that important? Sometimes we don't know when not to give, right? Yes, it is, the loom says. Not as a habit, not as a sort of madrum, but only on the rare occasion when it truly is needed. So sometimes we have to give and give and give when we don't want to. Let's say me taking care of my mom when she had Lou Gehrig's disease, right? There's times when we have to give. Some of us, when we're young parents, we have to give a lot. Sometimes when we're parents of teenagers, we have to give a lot, right? And sometimes we have to give and give and give. But that means that we have to sit down and give ourselves something too. One of the loom's charming costumes is to give through whatever pair of hands are nearest, providing they allow her to do so. Do you let the loom give through your hands, or do you put them in your pockets and hold back, holding on to what is yours? If so, you are missing a lot of fun, some interesting experience, spiritual growth. So, in other words, sometimes, we can start the giving and it gets handed off to somebody else. Or the energies, the fae say, can you do this? They'll whisper to you. The universe will push you in that direction, and you just kind of say, yeah, I don't really want to do that. And then that starts a domino effect, right? So with that, she was upright. She was upright. Look, she's sitting on that. And look at her wings are a little tattered, aren't they? Isn't she beautiful? Okay, so start our reading. If you are stuck or blocked in a situation and the loom turns up in this reading, you're probably in need of to stop focusing on what you are trying to accomplish and simply give to others freely, generously, and unconditionally. Try a few random acts of kindness, unconditional giving, of course. Go and do some volunteer work somewhere. Mow your elderly neighbor's lawn, or take a handsome or a homemade soup and some flowers from your garden to someone who's ill. Give some help to a coworker just because they need it. Give to a needy stranger. Whatever, whenever or not you think he deserves it. Take flowers to the hospital and give them to a stranger or at random, or give them to a nurse. Give them to somebody who's really working hard, right? With a compliment from the universe. Give a bit more than you think you are afforded. Go a little further than you think the reasonability can. Empty your wallet or purse of all your cash and for a beggar on the street. Don't worry, it will fill up again much faster than you might expect. Okay, that is an interesting card, right? So with that, I'm going to say, though, I'm going to add a little bit taintness to this. Let me see. I'm going to read the reverse card. So reverse would be if it's upside down. And some of us needed to hear this upside down. Ask yourself if you have been giving too much. That's the other message I was getting. Ask yourself if you've been giving too much and it's time to stop and tend to your own needs for a bit. Alternatively, ask yourself if you've been refusing to receive the bounty of the universe flowing through the legume's hands, just because it wasn't in quite the form you expected it, or because it's in the form different source than you wanted it to. So many of us don't see that the universe is giving it to us, right? So for me, when the universe has, like the other day, a bald eagle was flying over the playground and the kids were out and I was trying to break up a fight. And here's the eagle. The eagle was saying, you've got, get the bigger vision, right? So the universe was giving me something to think about. Now, right now, we're also dealing with some energy people that just take. Now, remember, it's hard to fill up a bucket that has a bunch of holes in it, right? And so if we have somebody that's always take, try giving to somebody who just says thank you. Just says thank you. And remember, giving also says put us on the list. Put us on the list. Because I know that two of the people who are listening here are givers and they do a lot of work. And sometimes we need a little bit to fill up our own bucket, which means doing something for someone who just says thanks. Like the other day, I said, you know what? I've been a witness of you for a long time. And I see that you've come into your empowerment. I was the hand that the Lamu was saying, give this message to her. Well, I'm going to tell you that day that the universe gave me something by a student saying, I missed working with you. Right? So remember, in order to give, you have to be willing to receive. And that is the breath in and breath out. Okay? I hope that these two messages was a gift for you. So in other words, it is time to open up and be willing to go, as my palm itches. I love you, universe. Be willing to receive, be willing to give. Be willing to know that as we let go, something will come back. It may not always be what we're looking for. And in order to work towards with the veil thinning, what we're going to be working towards in our universe, it's about opening up and being who our truer self is, which many times it's kindness, it's lovingness, it's breath in, it's breath out. And remember that as we're walking, not everybody's going to know what to do. And sometimes it is about holding out a hand and saying, I can help you step over that stone, but you have to be willing to step over that stone with me for me to help you more. Blessings to you. Now remember that if you wanted to reach me, you can reach me at angelicclarifications.com. I am open for sessions. I love to help people get through their process in their day, their process of emotions. Many of us are dealing with grief right now, and ouch. I get it. I can have an understanding of that. So with that, please go to angelicclarifications.com to schedule an appointment. I have not changed my prices yet, even though it's the first of the month. So if you hurry up and make an appointment, you may be able to get through with that cheaper price that I have up right now. But it's going to change because I'm going to try to, I think tomorrow, work on my website if I don't have a headache. My love to you. Remember, I am here. If you on Instagram, if you don't see me on Wednesday, because next Wednesday I have a guest, so you can catch me on my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter, and you can Google me and you can find me. And I am always on 4 Pacific time, Mondays and Wednesdays on my Facebook and YouTube channel, and also Twitter. And if you're there, please follow whatever you if you would like to find my inspirational quotes, or if you are on my YouTube page, please subscribe. Blessings to all, and I can see many blessings in your future if you're willing to receive the blessings that are laid out for you. My love goes to all, and know that as you're working through life and managing your life, that as you go through it, life is, it's always going to have a balance, this and that. It's going to have an up and a down. And unless we feel when we're having a down, look for the up. And when we have the up, be grateful, because that will help us through the next down. And Veronica, you are so welcome. She says, thank you so much, Natasha. Thank you. I'm so grateful for you, Sue, and Veronica for following. And I appreciate everyone that watched today. And I hope that if you can go back and watch this, if you just came in, and to see the messages from the beginning. And I was talking about how our world can be better. Our world can be better. My love to you. Bye now.